All right, listen up, listeners or watchers. Welcome to the Yappersons, the yapping podcast where people will yap about random crap, man. Today's episode, expanding upon fandoms. Now, sit back, get your headphones on, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the Yappersons, the show where we yap about random crap. I am your host, Haza Master, and my co-host is none other than Gamebot 2000.
Yeah, hello. What's up?
Yes. So, as you read from the podcast title, we're going to be talking about a bunch of things, especially when it comes to expanding upon the interest, especially when you run a YouTube channel or when you're stuck doing the same formula all the time. So that's what we're here to talk about.
Which is something that Corey has been stuck with like all these years. And for all I know, especially ever since I met this man, he hasn't like expanded upon his interest in like a bunch of other fandoms. And I do know that, yes, I see you there, dude. I see you there. Don't even try to deny it. You've been like struggling with that for years, and you know how much that we've been trying to like help you like get into like different things so you can make more friends and all that, and just get more inspiration for your own stuff, and hey, just have fun with the things that are not just Mario and Sonic or FNAF all the time, you know?
Yes, and so far I kind of been working on that because I got into that new it's not really new because it's been out for like a good couple of years now. That Spider-Man game for the PS5, even though I've only been playing it on the PC.
Ah, yes. Now that is a very good one. Even though the game you played was a remaster of the PS4 game for the PS5, yeah, like that doesn't really matter. Like the PlayStation Spider-Man games, the modern PlayStation Spider-Man games, mind you, they are masterpieces. I cannot stress that enough. That like they're like very fun to play, and the stories are very good. Like that's coming from someone who like played all the three games like on my PS5 and PS4. Spider-Man, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. Like those are very good.
Yes, and that kind of made me want to get back into Spider-Man again because as of I think it's like late last week or the week before, I actually finally watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was a freaking masterpiece of a movie, and I feel bad for missing out on it. Which, by the way,
Yeah,
guys,
well,
I'm still due to watch Across the Spider-Verse, which we're gonna be watching tomorrow.
yay! You will not be disappointed by the time you watch this, dude. Trust me, it's just like Into the Spider-Verse. It is peak cinema.
Peak cinema. I'm gonna bet it is, especially with that new one coming out next year. I mean, I know recently Spider-Man Brand New Day also came out today in theaters, which I still haven't watched yet.
I can't wait to watch that either. Like I've not watched it either. Like currently, by the time we're recording this, I'm waiting for my dad to like come back home from his trip, so that me, him, and my mom could watch the movie together as a family. Because I knowing my parents, they do love the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
I can tell they do.
and yeah.
So, why don't you tell the viewers about your certain interests in fandoms, like any specific fandoms you like?
Oh, where do I begin? Like I have like I've been interested in like a lot of other things, even though I've been stuck with those for years. Well, you think I should like list like one example and just like stick with it?
Yeah, just one example. That'll be fine.
All right, it's something that you had not had any personal interest in for a while, even though and I have been like trying to get some people to get interested in what I play. Well, one of them is one of my favorite like indie series, Shantae.
Shantae, yes. You
Mm-hmm.
told me a lot about that series, and you made a whole essay video on it.
Ah, yes. The very first video in the Gamebot documentary series, The Tale of Sequinland, a Shantae documentary, which is pretty much me talking about all the Shantae games in the series. For those who have been interested in a while, want to hear me talk about it, or have never either seen it or like had any interest before but want to give it a shot. Well, yeah, that video is pretty much made just for everybody, and just for me to yap about my love for the Shantae series like all these years. And yeah, this is pretty much a way for me to like get everybody into the know about the Shantae series and give the game to try and have them actually be interested in it, especially you, Corey. Like I know you cannot deny it. I want you to be interested in it too, even though it's not in your personal field.
Excuse me for 1 second, Game, but I'm trying my best, even though money is tight. Anyways, why don't you tell the folks? Why don't you tell the listeners about how you got into Shantae in the first place? Like, what caught your eye?
Oh, where do I begin? Well, I think it all started where like I could not remember like specifically like when I first saw Shantae in general, but I think it was around the time when I like checked out the DSi shop and when I got the Nintendo DSi, lovely console from back in the day, by the way.
Ah, yes, with a very iconic Nintendo DSi shop music that you constantly hear every time you shop, which sounds worse than elevator music.
This is worse than elevator music. I don't agree with that. Like the DSi, the shop theme song, it's a classic. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean that's like more like like you listen to it for so long every time you go on the eShop, or not the no, not the eShop. I meant the DSi shop, that it gets to the point where it gets so stuck in your head that it becomes an earworm.
Okay. So you're not saying it. You're not saying it in a bad way.
Yeah, no, I'm not. It's like what other Nintendo shop music is more iconic? Like the 3DS shop music, or the Wii U shop music, or the Wii shop music. I mean, we all know that the Wii shop music is more iconic.
Yeah, we shop channel all the way. But anyway, we're getting off track here.
Yes.
So I think around the time where I was like exploring it through the DSiWare like category, I think I saw Risky's Revenge there, but I can't remember like. Okay, I could be having like false memories, but I could have sworn that I remember like seeing Shantae Risky's Revenge like listed on the DSiWare shop, but it didn't really catch my eye at the time. I was like so young. But of course, it wasn't until like years later, like around my I think my mid or late teen years, where like I saw like a commentary series from James Man Extreme. Shout out to him. He did like a
I know that
commentary.
guy.
Yeah, you may know him as the artist for Donkey Kong for Axe Mario.
Yep, and I think he also voiced Mario before in the past.
Yeah, his video on like a dubbing some Club Nintendo comics, like that's the first video I saw from him, and they were pretty good at the time. But anyway, at the time, like he made like a commentary, like a series on the Shantae Risky Revenge. I don't think that commentary is like available anymore, but I remember watching it a lot back in the day, including his commentary series on Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, which is a commercial success in the Shantae series. And upon like watching his full commentary on Risky's Revenge, like I was like hooked on like the how Shantae games like play out. I like suddenly like fell in love with it, and like after like watching the whole thing of his commentary on Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, which was sadly also not available anymore, I decided to like get into the Shantae series myself, and I believe I played like a couple of games like in the series before Shantae Have Genie Hero came around, and I started playing that myself before he could make a commentary like series on that, and yeah, like more and more, like I fell in love with the Shantae series in general. Like not just with the games, but also the characters, the graphics, the music. Which, by the way, the musics are like absolute bangers, and so much more. And I just I don't know like where else it went from here, but I'm pretty sure it led to what I am today as a Shantae fan, playing like all the Shantae games and completing them. By the way. And now currently excited for the upcoming seventh entry, which is coming soon. I don't know when, but there were like two teaser images showing like what the next Shantae game could be like. And yeah, I'm so excited to like see what it's all about when the Way Forward like finally like releases the first trailer for it.
That's gonna be one hell of a good time when the seventh entry comes out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow, so that's your true introduction to Shantae.
Yep, pretty much. As far as I know from the earliest memories, but I do remember like getting into it a lot more when I watched the commentary series from James Man Extreme. So yeah, that's how it came to be, and I could not recommend the Shantae games like enough to like everybody here, especially you, Corey. Like the games are available like on the online shops such as like for Nintendo, Xbox, the PlayStation, and Steam. Yeah, you can pretty much get those games for I think like decent like prices. Well, like I don't know like how much the Shantae games like individually cost, but yeah, again I cannot recommend it enough. Especially the latest entry, which is the a canceled sequel for the Game Boy Advance, which was like finally finished.
I can't believe it took them like that long to get like they thought like a game is canceled until they finally decided to pick it up again, and now it probably became like a massive success. I definitely been there before when it comes to the animatronic horror remake that I attempted to do, but it ended up not going well until recently, which is a good thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is a kind of a similar story. But the fact that the Way Forward decided like uh, like at that time to like bring the cancel project from the dead, it is like absolutely like mind blowing. It's like something that's like usually doesn't happen in gaming history ever. Well, I will say, like regarding that, the creator of the Shantae series, Matt Bozon, like said that it felt weird to leave a project undone, so he decided to pick up the project back up and release it on modern consoles and the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, like they should really be proud of themselves for managing to get that game released. And I think they had like their own little marketing where they actually re-released it on the Game Boy Advance itself. Didn't you have that?
Yeah, I do have the GBA cartridge, and I 100% completed the game.
Which is kind of insane because like it's surprising that some companies are still making Game Boy Advance cartridges like to this day for the Game Boy Advance, even though Nintendo doesn't really like make them anymore.
Well, not just the Game Boy Advance, but a lot of people, like including like whether or not they're like just individual people or just like indie companies, like and they make their own like classic cartridges as well. Like
Wow.
for the NES, SNES, the Genesis, the Master System, like it even includes the Studio MDHR, the creators of Cuphead. Like they're currently like making like a classic like Cuphead game for the Master System, as revealed in a Summer Game Fest.
I have heard about that, which kind of featured that weird looking Cuphead puppet thing. Very weird.
It's just for a skit.
I know, I know. Okay. Now there's this game series that I'm also into, which is not like any of the ones that you're into. Specifically, Oddworld Inhabitants. Oh yes.
Yep. Yeah, I figured you were gonna go there.
Yeah, because like I don't really show the Oddworld games on my channel very often because they're normally like always very underrated. I'm actually part of the Oddworld Inhabitants Discord server, and they actually liked the Mario and Luigi Meet a VR chat video that we did. They even like showed it off on their YouTube channel, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I see that as like an absolute honor. But yeah, to this day, I still congratulate you on that.
Wow, thank you for that. Okay, so I believe this started when I was like about I think I was like 9 or 10. I think I might be 10. You know, like the original Xbox, except like it's like modded. Like you probably saw videos where people have modded their original Xbox where it has like its own big menu where you can watch movies or play games and even like emulators.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I've seen like a lot of modded consoles, not modern. Like I've seen like a lot of modded consoles on YouTube like nowadays. And believe it or not, I actually had seen like some modded consoles in person like back in 2019 when I went to like an anime convention.
Nice. Okay, so I think it happened when I was like 10 years old. So for Christmas, one of my parents got us an original Xbox, but it was like completely modded, but in package. So I came across this game called Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, and I mean, I just watched one of my folks play it, and I guess it's the only thing that I like about it is mostly the humor, like especially the whole Mudokins like just chattering and farting, which is also funny. I mean, fart jokes are not that funny anymore. Are they that funny? They're probably
Well,
not.
well, I guess it really depends on like how they're executed.
Yeah, just don't not in a weird way. So anyway, yeah, like I actually really liked those games. So like back then, I actually didn't know any YouTube walkthroughs at the time until I actually decided to look up some gameplay on YouTube, and I saw a video called Oddworld Munch's Odyssey Bad Ending. So I gave that a watch, and that kind of traumatized me when I was literally a little kid. like the Vikers just sawing Munch's lungs out, just hearing him scream in agony. That was absolutely horrifying. So
Yeah, I've not seen it myself, but I've not seen it. I've not seen it myself, but yeesh, that's really morbid.
yeah, I swear, Oddworld inhabitants were not afraid to go absolutely sinister with the bad endings. So I did look up the other Oddworld games like Abe's Odyssey, Abe's Exodus. I mean, I did try them a little bit on an emulator, but 2D platforming wasn't really perfect for me because it was so hard compared to the ones I played.
Hmm.
And of course, the one that's my absolute favorite, I actually live streamed it on this channel before, is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. Stranger's Wrath is, to this day, one of my favorite Oddworld games. Especially like the outlaw dialogue humor and the story, especially like that massive plot development where okay, maybe I won't spoil the game, but I actually screw it, spoiler warning. Where Stranger was a Steve. Like they hid that plot twist so well. Like that was like the moment my jaw dropped when I first saw that cutscene when I was a kid. I was like, oh my god, he's a Steve. What happened?
Don't you love plot twists like that?
Well, plot twists are only good if they're like either unexpected or it makes sense. Like plot twists can be done by anything, like Bellwether from Zootopia. Like they hit that very well, which also made a really good plot twist. Did Shantae have any like massive plot twists that you did not find expecting?
Um, well, I I'm not quite sure, but one thing that comes to mind was that, well, I think in Have Genie Hero, like there was this seemingly there was a character that seemed to be in like another Have Genie that replaces Shantae, but later down in the episode, you'll find out that she's not really Have Genie at all. She is only a memory, like a manifestation of a memory.
What? A memory? How does that make sense?
Well, I think when you play Have Genie Hero yourself, you'll probably get it. But she's just like only masquerading as a Have Genie to like trick people, and because she's supposed to be a manifestation of a memory, like she like makes people like only remember her and just have them not remember like anything else, like lose their memories and all that.
Wow.
Basically, have their memories just all be about her. Like what a narcissist.
Wow. Narcissists are always such trouble. Okay, back to
Yeah, tell
Oddworld
me about it.
okay, back to Oddworld for a second. Um so ever since like me and my family like moved out and the original Xbox was a piece of garbage because the controllers are always dying and the console itself just outright doesn't work anymore, which is
Huh.
unfortunate. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, I know. So like I pretty much forgotten about Oddworld for the past couple of years of childhood until I heard they re-released it for like PC, and then I heard like New and Tasty was coming out on the Nintendo Wii U. Y'all remember that console?
What's the Wii U again? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Like we all had our fond memories with the Wii U, even though the console didn't sell well and it wasn't like marketed as well as Nintendo tried to.
Yeah, but the concept was still good though. At least they redeemed themselves with the Switch. So
They
anyway,
certainly did.
so I think I was in like I think it was like 2017. I was like 17 years old, and I recently got like $20 as a little Easter gift. So after school, I went to my local GameStop to get a Steam card to buy the other Oddworld games, like all of them, like the Odd Box. And you can actually buy the games for a very, very cheap price on Steam compared to like other consoles. You can get like Munch's Odyssey for only $5, unless they have like sales, and Stranger's Wrath for only $10. Well, I mean, those are like Canadian dollars, so I'm pretty sure US dollars are completely different compared to my current currency.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so I ended up revisiting those games again, and I always love having a good time playing Stranger's Wrath the most. And when I found out that they're making another game like Oddworld Soulstorm, which I have yet to complete because those levels are always so hard, I'm actually playing it on the Switch too at the moment. Also, yes, the Oddworld games are also on the Switch, and they work on the Switch too. I still have massive hope for Oddworld's future. Like, we haven't gotten a new game since 2021. Well, while the rest of their releases are just ports. So yeah, if you guys want to, I would suggest you play the Oddworld games, at least specifically Stranger's Wrath and Munch's Odyssey and maybe Soulstorm. Oh, and New and Tasty, of course. I mean, I did complete New and Tasty, but I only got the bad ending. I was like, how the hell did I miss all the Mudokons, man?
Skill issue. That's the simple answer.
Not really a skill
man.
issue. I did find out from my buddy East Goes Boom is that I had to rescue a bunch of Mudokons before I escaped Rupture Farms, and I had no idea about that. I was like, why? They didn't make that clear. How was I supposed to know that?
Well, to put it simply, skill issue.
Hey, shut up!
Okay, yeah, I'll stop with that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, apparently, like, you and I are like, well, it turns out like I'm not the only one who tries to get like a underrated like series like out there like to be more well known. Like you and I are kind of on the same page. Like we are like amongst the other people who like try to like make a underrated or obscure series like known to the rest of the world. Like for me, like I like to get some other like underrated series out there, like Neptunia. I'm not sure if it's that underrated. There's the Fantastic Night Dreams Cotton. They caught in the game series. There's also the arcade fighting game called Waku Waku 7. Yeah, they're pretty much like a bunch of those like other underrated titles, like including like Twinbee, like the vertical shoot 'em up games. And yeah, like when we love those games so much, and we want to like everyone else in the world to know it like a lot more than they currently do, which at the same time they're not really as well known because not a lot of people talk about those games. But when we love those kind of games so much as we do with the other like franchises that are very well known, we just try to get more people to like acknowledge them so they can do like love it as much as we do. And yeah, we it's the thing where like we kind of want to like other people's works to be like well known so they can like have the satisfaction of having their works to be enjoyed by a bunch of other people around the world as they like possibly to try to like when they first created them. And yeah, I think it's the blessing that we get to like discover those games that like not a lot of people have, you know.
Yeah, there's probably some other video games that not a lot of people like know of. Like I do have a couple of like past like GameCube games in my cabinet where I normally keep all my physical media stuff, which by the way, that will be an episode for another time. So I'm not sure if any of you have heard of like movies to video games type of content. Like
Oh
Disney.
yeah.
Yeah, like Disney has done them. I think like Warner Brothers has done them. More like a lot of movie companies have done them like Spider-Man, Batman, even
The
a
Lego
few
Movie.
Disney one. Yeah, the Lego movie, and there's also like some Disney movies and DreamWorks movies.
Oh yeah, like not a lot of companies like make those kind of games anymore. I noticed.
No, they definitely don't. Well, there's this one game that I actually played when I was like really, really young. I don't remember what age I was at the time, so I'm going to assume I was like 4 or 5. I think I was 5. So like this is around the time the Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie was coming out, and my mom just loaded a PC game of the game of the same name. Like basically this game is like a very short game that has like 10 levels of different kinds of mini games, and like I remember as a kid I struggled on them so much. And I remember in the past few years I thought they were like completely forgotten, or I completely forgotten about it until I came across it on the internet recently on Google Images. I believe I was like 10 or no, I think I was 13 at the time. So me being the nostalgic kid I am, tried to convince my mom to find me a copy of that on eBay. At least that's what I remembered. So
eBay.
now keep this in mind that this game had different variants. Like there's the GameCube version, the Xbox version, the PlayStation 2 version, and the Game Boy Advance version. Like this game was released on different consoles. Like the PC version was different compared to the home console versions and the Game Boy Advance. Like the Game Boy Advance, I heard online, it was like a 2D platformer, while the main console ones are like you just have to like fix some inventions from Wonka and you just proceed to the next level. Like it is a very long game compared to the PC version, which I had no idea about. Like how insane is that when it comes to like video games from movies, that have different varieties. Like I don't know if there's a game that you know that's like completely different compared to the main port of the console. Like say like you have uh say you have a main console game, and when you played it, it's exactly how you remembered, and then when you get a PC version of the game, it's completely different compared to the one you had.
Oh yeah, totally. I could definitely name like a few. But yeah, like when it comes, but first things first, when it comes to ports, like yeah, obviously like the games are gonna be different, but they're gonna be themed around the exact same franchise because like I see them as a way to like advertise their stuff, like the TV shows or movies and all that, and
Yeah.
not all the games like have to be exactly the same on the specific consoles. And yeah, here's some examples. Like I remember like back in the day, I played Wally on the Wii. And completed it. Like that was a fun game. And when I recently played the PS2 version on my PS5, which I made a video of for my Gamebot one-off series, like the PS2 different is pretty different compared to the Wii version. So like so the gameplay process for that game is blind compared to the Wii version. And that's pretty much like what I remember. And okay, in this one, like amongst the others, like this is not like based on a movie, but it's rather like it's on the same topic of like games that being different on different consoles. Like it, examples being Pac-Man World and Pac-Man World 2. Like we all know those games on the good old home consoles. Like those were like fantastic games. That like my favorite being Pac-Man World 2, of course. And of
I
course, like
remember
when you
that.
play this on when you play them on the Game Boy Advance, they're obviously like pretty different. They tried to like make it similar to the 3D games, but they're still 2D. But yeah, like that they're obviously different and they play out different because mainly one of the main reasons is the Game Boy Advance is like hardware limitations compared to the bigger like home consoles that you play on TV. So of course the games are gonna turn out to be different, but they're still gonna have the same like concept and all that. It's just executed differently.
Wow. I think another example is I think like Sonic Unleashed. Like I know Sonic Unleashed had like the PS3 and the Xbox 360 port, but there's also the PlayStation 2 and the Wii port, which I definitely heard online those two ports are not very good, and the PS3 slash Xbox 360 ports are better.
Well, speaking of Sonic, like I just thought of like another example, and it's like I think there are two examples actually, like Sonic Colors for the Wii compared to the DS, and Sonic Lost World compared to the Wii U and a 3DS.
Ah, yes, because I definitely remember getting Sonic Colors on the DS when I was like a little kid, like around 2011, and and looking online, I like for some reason, the DS version of Sonic Colors had a supersonic story mode compared to the main console version. I was like, what the heck, man? Why can't you just do it for the actual main console version?
Yeah, like as someone who played Sonic Colors Ultimate on the PS5, like I totally understand that. And I remember from what I'm hearing, like the story in Sonic Colors DS is pretty different, and it actually features like other characters. And they made that canon in the Galactic Parade stage in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, where Knuckles was like, "I can't believe Rouge tricked me into coming here one time."
Wait, so the DS version of Sonic Colors is canon? Well, that's a twist.
Apparently, according to Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
Wow. Now, now I don't even know if Sonic Colors Ultimate is like the better version compared to like the original release.
Uh, dude, have you seen like a buttload of like glitches that everyone has been sharing ever since Sonic Colors Ultimate came out?
Well, I mean, I did see videos about it, but I was like, I feel like those are just like fake glitches just to make Sega look bad. Because when I tried it myself, I managed to play it with no issues. I mean, unless it's different for everyone, I guess. Maybe it's just beginner's luck.
Those glitches were real. Like they came from like when the game like first announced. Of course, like later down the line, Sega had to like patch all that up. So thankfully for me, I had not run into those like visual glitches at all. Cause yeesh, those like visual glitches can be very eye straining.
Yeah, judging from the videos I saw, that was like that is enough to give myself a seizure. So, whew, thank God those got patched.
Yeah, that's water under the bridge now, so we can move on from that.
So, we are coming up to the end of the first episode of the Yappersons. So, to end this all off, why don't we go ahead and we recommend you some games from each other? So, Gamebot, you go first.
All right, so what I would recommend for some series that I listed before, well, there's some series that have like standalone games, but that's not the main point here. So the games I recommend, especially to you, Corey, well, the first one's being Shantae. Well,
Yes.
yeah. So first and foremost, for Shantae, like sure, some games may have like a little bit of fan service, but if you like ignore all that, you're gonna appreciate it for the characters, the witty writing, the beautiful like character designs and visuals, and like catchy music and all that. Yeah, you'll be in for a fun time playing like all the games, and be excited for when the upcoming game comes out. Next being Hyperdimension Neptunia, which is pretty much like a female personifications of the console wars, like between like Nintendo, Sega, Microsoft, and Sony.
Oh, remember those times?
Yeah, those were the times. Yeah, like all those like four girls like Neptune, Noir, Blonde, and Vert. They're all like based around like Sega, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, and and the games are like have a very fascinating concept. Although like not all the games were good, but some of them are. And there are like more spin-offs than the mainline games, but thankfully there's a new mainline game coming soon called Neptunia Unlimited, and it's pretty much like a reboot of the series where like all the countries, the nations have themselves like some big upgrades to match up the modern console days, like with the Switch, the Xbox Series S and X, the PS5. Well, for the second part, that's not been changed. But yeah, but I warn you. Well, I will warn you though. Like when you look at when you think about the fan service compared to the Shantae one, like the fan service in those series is pretty notorious, and it can go a little bit far at times. But again, when you just don't mind it as much, and just ignore it, you can appreciate it for all for the writing and the character designs, and yeah, pretty much you get it. Now, the next one being the Cotton series, the games I would recommend you play, like either one for the Cotton series is Cotton Reboot, which is a reboot of the first game in a series called Fantastic Nectarines Cotton, or Cotton Fantasy. Like those games were like the two games. They're good starters for getting into a Cotton series. They're basically just like one of those horizontal shoot 'em up games, the classic genre we all know and love. Or in this case, when it involves like anime characters, it's called Cute 'em up. It's
Cute 'em
basically
up.
basically it's about this there's a candy hungry witch named Cotton who is assisted by a small fairy named Silk, and Silk like asks Cotton to like save the world, but Cotton herself doesn't give a crap. And the only way it'll get through her head to save the world is by convincing her that she'll like to have as much candy as she wants. The candy being the source of the world called willows, which are basically the giant candies. So with that being enough to convince Cotton to save the world, she does it anyway. But of course, she doesn't care about the world at all. She only cares about that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Now, Twinbee. Now, Twinbee is a rather vertical shoot 'em up, where like the vertical shoot 'em up games where you like attack enemies from up above and all that, almost
Yeah.
kind of like Xevious.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's pretty much like that's pretty much one of the games in the exact genre, except it's like cuter and fun. That's it. I'm pretty sure the Twin Peaks series in general is self-explanatory, and the arcade fighting game Waku Waku 7 is pretty much like one of those like the Japanese like anime like arcade fighting games by Sunsoft, and it has like only one game. That much is obvious, and it features like a cast of like 7 playable characters that are basically parodies of like classic tropes, and one of them being like the one guy with the white sleeveless shirt and green pants and the beard. It was pretty much a reference to Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. A fun fact. I'm pretty sure like a lot of JoJo fans will like acknowledge that.
Oh, they
And
definitely
yeah,
would.
yeah, Waku Waku 7 is pretty much like a very defined like arcade fighting series. Like I don't know why I became like attached to it so much, but it was also thanks to James Man Extreme, like when he covered that game on the in his own like look at video, covering some arcade archives of games that were released on Nintendo Switch and the other consoles. He mainly just covered the those arcade archives series games like on the Switch, and Waku Waku 7 is included. And yeah, like it is very fun to play, and especially if it's on kind of like the same level as the games such as like Galaxy Fight or Fatal Fury or Street Fighter. I definitely like recommend you get those a try. But yeah, I don't know if there's something that I missed, but regardless, I could not recommend those games enough. Now, Corey, do you have any recommendations?
The only recommendations that I could give, like compared to the ones I've played so far, well, for one, I did mention Our World Strangers Wrath. I would recommend you play that game. Basically, it's like if you like Red Dead Redemption, well, I think you'll like this one. It's basically like you play as like a bounty hunter, and you gotta get like money for a mysterious surgery, and it's your job to round up all the bounties, dead or alive, while traveling to different towns, while also trying to protect like towns and villages and such. Another one I would recommend, it would probably have to be Buckshot Roulette. I played that recently, and it's a very fun game. I gotta thank Vicky for introducing me to that game. It's
That was so much fun.
it just really depends on luck. Like, you never know whether you're gonna get your head blown off or someone else's head blown off. Kind of messed up for me to say, but that's just how the game works.
Yeah, random number generator and trial and error and all that. Oh yeah, yeah. There's another game series that I like. I would recommend like giving a try, but that I have not covered earlier in the episode. It's one of those like classic like quick time event games from back in the 80s.
Oh,
One of which is Dragon's Lair. I'm pretty sure everybody like knows Dragon's Lair.
didn't like Don Bluth did the animation for that? You know, the guy who did like All Dogs Go to Heaven, An American Tail, and a couple of other movies.
Yes, exactly. Like that was like one of Don Bluth's video games.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is
like,
definitely one of the most popular ones. Especially like it feels like you're playing like an animated movie, even though it's not an animated movie. It's a video game.
Yeah, like back in the day, I'm pretty sure like back in the 80s, that was like mind blowing for a bunch of people because usually back in the 80s, like a lot of video games were consisted of like computer beeps and pixelated graphics, but Dragon's Lair like went way over the limit. And it's not just that. Don Bluth also has like two other games called Space Ace and Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp.
Wow.
But that genre, well, like those games aside, in the same genre, like there's also another. Don Bluth isn't the only one that made those kind of games. There's also a company called Taito, which are very well known for Space Invader games. They made some like the game similar to that like themselves for Laserdisc. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what Laserdisc are. I mean, there's like one game in a collection that I like showed off like 2 times on the channel. I could not recommend it enough. Time Gal. Basically, you play as a time themed like space cop named Reika, and she's like traveling through time to like stop a thief who like stole a time machine to travel through different timelines, and yeah, just stop them from changing and ruining history as we know it.
Wow.
Yeah, like a Time Gal is like a very very fun game. I would recommend giving that a shot too. Like the HD remaster is available on Steam, so I would recommend giving that a shot. As a matter of fact, like they're like a lot of the games that I've recommended, like they're also like available on like a modern console such as the Switch, Xbox, and the Steam and the PlayStation and all that. So yeah, back to you, Corey.
All right. Well, so I guess that's pretty much it for the Yappersons. I just want to thank you all for coming by to listen. If you guys just wanted to listen to us yap about random stuff, then please check out this podcast. We hope to do more episodes like this in the future. Let's just see how the first episode does. And yeah, Gamebot, would you like to say something else to our beloved listeners before we sign off? I
will say one thing. Like, I really hope y'all enjoyed this because I honestly want to keep doing this as often and talk to you guys about our interests and hopefully like influence you like how like the others like influenced us. So yeah, if we're doing a good job, then yeah, more power to us. I would definitely love to like do more episodes of the Yappersons.
Heck yeah! So thank you all so much for listening. This is Haza Master, and this is Gamebot. Signing off. We're done yapping for the day.
Take care.